I remember those days when we first started talking about doing the company and doing Mystery House. And we used to sit around at night and say, gosh, if this game would ever sell just 10,000 copies. I mean, that was kind of the magic number we had in mind. Then that would allow us to move out of L.A. We could live kind of happily ever after, because we weren't going for a big house or nothing. We just wanted a log cabin in the woods.
He got his first Apple computer back in 1979, 1980, and brought home a little game called Colossal Cave, a little text adventure game. And I started playing it, and this sort of gave me the idea that, I could try doing this. I think at the time we thought, well, if we could just earn $40,000 a year, we could live comfortably in the woods and just work at home and work together on games. Wouldn't that be fun? The truth of Mystery House is that it was the first computer game with graphics. Nobody ever really realizes that, but all computer games up till that point were all text. And it was the first computer game with graphics. Didn't have any animation, didn't have any sound, didn't have any color. It was black and white, but it did have graphics.
Success after we started Sierra came fast. I remember we shipped our first product on, I think it was May 5th, 1980. And at that point it was kind of like, some year this might be big enough we could leave LA. And we bought our house in Yosemite in August of 1980.
Right away, we were bombarded with calls day and night.
We just didn't realize what had happened when suddenly there were 30,000, 40,000 people out there with our home phone. And we'd get woke up at 3 and 4 in the morning. And it was just kind of around the clock, and we were
all the time. We had boxes in our house everywhere, just piled with stuff. And it lasted about 6 months. We moved to Oakhurst, and then it lasted about another 3 months in our house, and we were starting to hire employees by this time. At that point, I said, "That's it. No secretaries are coming to work here at my house. It's time to get an office."
Roberta's parents had put an apple orchard in Yosemite, and we decided that'd be a nice place to be. I think the town grew up to about 7,000 people, but 550 were working for us in Oakhurst. We looked at our growth rate over the next few years, and they said, where are they going to live? There was no way that they were going to build the apartment buildings or the housing to put people in. So ultimately we had to leave Oakhurst. Been a lot of change in the industry. I remember originally there was not the sense of it being a highly competitive business, that it was more us and a few other companies that were trying to change the world through doing computer games. Every year we'd do kind of an industry raft trip, and the whole industry would go rafting together. We'd take all of our employees, go down the rivers together, and throw buckets of water at each other. These days it's more of it's a real industry, and the goal here is to try to grab 2 points of market share.
I love my job. I can't ask for a better job. I told some of my son's friends, that what I do is I sit around and make up things all day. It's really fun.
Yeah, we got awfully good competitors. I mean, to figure out how to do better games than they do every year is a lot of complexity, but we do it. We've done it 15 years in a row. We'll just do it another 15 or so.
Much more than just simply developing software. We obviously try to use as much of the tried and true software engineering techniques as we can, but sometimes just sheer innovation and design mean that things go a little more chaotic.
You don't innovate without making mistakes, and mistakes are expensive. And you got to learn. You got to put money in, take chances, build things, and everything layers on top of everything that's gone before.
We want them to forget their outside world. We want to take them in. We want them to forget about how work was, or what problems they had driving home, or whatever things on their mind, and immerse them totally in.
I think Front Page Sports, that line right off the bat comes to mind. That game has so many features. If you're a stats hound, you can get right in there and just play the stats. And that is just a small part of that game.
We really are trying to design a product that takes you out of a a linear entertainment mode where it's delivered to you as in watching television and lets you interactively participate in that process.
We're currently working on figuring out what's the best way to utilize CD-ROM technology to make our products really exciting and to perform well.
You want to remove any sort of perception that the user has that what is occurring is a simulation on a computer.
We'd like to prod the market along to where it's up to a higher technological level.
We're looking at adding online manuals that will give you a lot more information about the game.
The play value has to be there, the fun, the interactivity.
You can play another person over the phone. So if you got a buddy across town or across the United States or across the world, you can get in the arena and mix it up with them.
We had EGA that looked like VGA. We had VGA that looked like Super VGA. This time we're using Super VGA.
You want the real story?
We've already got high-res going. We're already in 32-bit for all you technocrats out there.
The graphics system is all polygonal based, and what we're able to do is provide real smooth animations that makes them more believable.
I'm hoping that the technology will be to the place where you can be in that game.
In Front Page Sports, if you're playing in career play, you have a group of players, you play the season ends, and they all get older. And some of them retire.
Every product we do is always raising the bar, and every other product benefits from those advances.
That's what I love about working here.
It's pretty crazy sometimes.
I love computer games. The people I work with love computer games.
With Phantasmagoria and some of the other games coming for 1994, you'll see a graphic look based on video technology like nothing you've ever seen before.
When you get all done with the product and you see it on the shelf, it feels good. That's why I do it.